Hello, my name's Paul. I'm with Logix Magazine, and today we're going to talk about the lessons I learned on my first day as an engineer. And I'll share some tips with you that's going to help you overcome some of the same challenges I faced. Stick with me. So, I was hired as a controls engineer by $1 billion company. That's with a B, and that they were less prepared on my first day than the time I was hired as an electrician by a company that barely made $1 million a year. But those lessons paid off. They paid off when I look back on the first days that I served as a department manager and the first days I served as a project manager. So it was worth the experience. Now, your first day is probably going to be a whirlwind of activity, right? You're going to meet your new team. You're going to find the lunchroom, the restroom. You're going to get the corporate spiel, right? We got to get that. You're going to get try and find your desk and or office if you're at one. It's going to be a whirlwind of activity. But once you do find your home, whatever that actually is, you're still going to have some challenges. And I wanted to share some of the tips to being successful in those early days in your job. So first off, don't expect anything, even if it's in your letter or your offer or your contract. Just don't expect anything to be set up, but prior to starting. All right. So, for example, don't expect that corner office. Even if you rate one, it's not going to be ready. Somebody's going to need to be moved out. Somebody need to be cleaned. May not even be built yet. Whatever the case is, just don't expect it. Don't set your expectations. You're going to walk in and everything's just going to be perfect, because it's not going to be that way. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because in real life, you have to be able to deal with the challenges of business. All right. So one of the big things you're going to have to deal with is the fact that you're probably not going to be set up in the company directory. Okay, which means you don't exist. That's what that means. You don't exist. You can't don't have a company phone. You probably don't have your office or your desk. You're not going to have your business cards. You're not going to be in the email directory. You don't exist. All right. So it's going to be very difficult for those first few days, weeks, or even a month or two until you get into the system and settle in. All right. You could possibly struggle for 30 to 60 days. I have seen that in some parts of my personal experience, and what I've seen happen to other people. So just be prepared. All right. Don't say you weren't warned. In particular, I remember waiting 60 days for business cards. 60 days. Now, imagine trying to hold meetings, make introductions, hold meetings, buy anything through the company, giving out phone numbers so that people can contact you. Even if they call the front desk or reception, if you're not in the system, they have no number to forward you. Your people who call you, they have no number to forward you to, forward them to you. So it becomes very difficult for you in those early days. But don't panic. And this will happen to you at some point, especially at the beginning. All right. We're going to go over a few things, how to kind of get a few workarounds on that. All right. Again, you're likely not going to exist in the system. And that's the challenge. You got to let the process get completed. IT's got to get the notification from HR. HR is getting all your benefits and everything set up in the system. IT's getting the notification to get the computer, the phones, all that kind of stuff set up. They have to find out what software. If you're the first person they've ever had in this role at this company, as has happened to me, it's a laborious process getting all the software and everything set up. These are the challenges that you might face. If you're just replacing somebody, then still they don't know your job. They don't have the information as to the things that you need. They can look at another person's laptop and they could probably mirror part of it. I mean, they know how to do their job, but it's likely not going to be done before you start your job. So you're going to have some of this delay. It's going to make you very ineffective at doing your job. All right. But I would hope that your leadership will understand that. So we're going to work on a few things to help you overcome some of this and still be valuable to the company. All right. All right. So first thing I do is I go and create a Google voice number. All right. And I go online. I create a phone number. This is free to do. And I forward that phone number to my personal cell phone. Now, the reason I do that is to protect my personal cell phone, my personal privacy. And in addition to that, I can spread that anywhere, and I can change it. I can drop that number, get a new number. I have a lot of control of it. Once you give your phone number, your personal phone number out, it's out and there's no making changes. All right. So for me, I like that flexibility. So I create a Google Voice phone number and I forward that to my personal cell phone. All right. Second thing I do is I go online, I order business cards. Now I just order very generic white stock business cards. I put my full name, and I have in the past put controls engineer or whatever my title generally is, and that may vary, but your full name and your Google Voice number on that card, and you can get 500 of them. Likely you're going to throw away most of these, or you might be able to hang on to them and use them for some other reason later on, but those business cards, you just order 500, you get them, you have them. All right. Now, again, when you start this new job, don't expect a desk or an office. Okay. Even if you're rated, I cannot overemphasize this enough, because things aren't going to be set up. Now, the challenge here is this: you still have to have a laptop. You still have to have a computer. You still have to be able to do your job. All right. Handle emails, make phone calls, research things, buy things. You have to be able to do your job. You're not going to have a desk or office, because the company's not really, most companies aren't focusing on your needs before you get there. So when you get there, starts the ball rolling, and it takes a while for these things to happen. So I've put a folding table and chair in my truck in the past, and it's come in handy many times, especially in that first 30 to 60 days. You may not be set up all the way in your office, but you may be going out in the field, and if nothing else, you have a table and a chair that you can plop up your laptop, maybe hook up to a processor, and still be functional if you happen to have a company laptop. But in the back in the home base, you still may need that table or that table space, because I remember using a transformer, a functioning transformer for a while. For a few days, I brought in my table and chair, and I used that, and I worked out on the floor until I was set up in my office or my desk area. So those things happen, and having a chair and a table ready to go. If you don't use it, you don't use it. If you do, you need it, it's there for you. All right. At least till you get settled in. All right. So one of the other things I do is I get a thumb drive. Now, we all know that besides our programming software, there's a ton of other softwares that we use, right? And that we all have, that we kind of have our personal preference on using. Now, again, once you have this software, you're going to have to begin this laborious process of entering, downloading and getting it set up and configured in your new software and laptop. Obviously, you don't want to do this without the approval of IT, but you want to have that software, the downloads on this thumb drive, so you don't have to go online trying to find it. You can have notes with all the login info and all the specifics, parameters for all of this software on this thumb drive. Makes life so much easier to just plug this in. All right. So with IT's permission, you have this thumb drive, you're ready to go. And if by chance they are the ones who require to install it, you got it in all the notes. It's very easy for them, and that's what we want it to be. All right. The other thing is, in closing here, essentially, once you do get settled in, and once you get the company phone, you have your setup. You want to have a prepared email to send out to all your contacts, your personal contacts and business contacts, and let them know where your new home is. It's very important to keep everybody abreast as to the change in your life and the change in your career. All right. So I think that that's very important. You can prepare that before you take the new job, or you can prepare it as a template and then throw in the name of the new company, a few details about the role, once you've accepted the offer. All right. So this is, to me, these are the things that you want to be able to do to help prepare yourself for that really challenging, 1 week to 60 days generally, of getting your feet into a new business. And it really starts that very first day you work as a controls engineer or design engineer, whatever your role is. It's very important. These are going to be challenges you're going to have. And I can tell you that almost any role, at some point in a professional role, you're going to face these challenges. And this is the things you can do to make yourself a little more comfortable and successful, right? One final note I wanted to make was that I also, once I started doing controls engineering, I did have my own personal laptop that I loaded a lot of my software in, and I had different versions of it. And what this helps me become functional, like early. If I had needed RS Logix and I was programming RS Logix, I had the software generally on my own personal laptop. I could go in there and begin working right away without having to wait for my corporate laptop to get set up. So as you can see, there's a lot of ways you can prepare yourself for this change and position yourself for success in those early days. All right. So again, this was Paul Godinez with Logix Magazine. Hey, if you're interested in a controls position, or you're interested in the automation career field, I really encourage you to go visit logixmagazine.com and kind of read up on the industry and read up about how you can launch your own automation career. We talk about ways to travel the world, work with cutting edge tech, lead $1 million projects, and earn high 5 and 6 figures. So I invite you to go visit that website. Again, like everyone else, if you like what you hear here on the Logix, the YouTube channel, then subscribe, hit the bell, and we're gonna be putting out a lot of videos on some of these more. There's more to being successful in an automation career than just learning how to program, and those are the things that we really want to focus on. So until next time, this is Paul with Logix Magazine. Have a good day, my friends.